We are back here on WOTH 1370 AM. I am Scott Cannon. Over there is
Reverend
Delwyn Campbell.
That's right.
And really, we need to talk about this last thing because this is the other story that has been dominating the.
Oh, well, let's do it.
The media.
We've only got like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we got 33 minutes left. It's 7:27, but unfortunately, that is the infrastructure vote. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, the way that this is being covered in the media and the way it's being talked about is you have the sort of left-wing factions of our particular of the Democratic Party versus the right wing, versus the sort of moderate centrists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what is being presented. This is moderate centrism versus sort of crazy, wacky left-wing. Ideological loons like AOC and Bernie Sanders, but that's just not the case at all. Okay, the overwhelming majority of voters support the Build Back Better plan, 61% to 30% after being informed of its major provisions and the $3.5 trillion tag. By 69% to 22% margin, voters support a new carbon border tax that would place a fee on goods that are imported from countries that have more relaxed environmental regulations. By 66 to 24% margin, voters support the new clean energy performance program. 62% of Americans believe climate change is making natural disasters more frequent. So basically, this is not some weird, bizarre, tax and spend liberal craziness that the right wing wants to make it out to be. And really the focus has been on two particular senators, in Joe Manchin and Kyrsten from West Virginia, Joe Manchin from West Virginia, and Kyrsten Sinema, who is from Arizona. And the way they are being portrayed is that they are centrist. And because they live in places like West Virginia and Arizona, that they have to be pragmatic. They have to say, they have to look. We just can't say whatever we want to. We just can't do what we want to do because we're in these very conservative states. But if you actually look at the polls in places like West Virginia, you'll see that 2/3 of West Virginia respondents had positive responses to the provisions of the proposal. 80% supported the requirements that materials are made in America. 77% supported rebuilding the water infrastructure in this country. 70% supported the stronger protection for organized labor. So overall, the two infrastructure bills are pretty much popular. The majority of the public supports them, but you have two Democratic senators, and this is what we talk about on this show, the rotating villains. Okay, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are taking all the heat. They're taking all the heat for essentially this bill not being able to be pushed through, because the Democrats would be able to push it through if they would just participate. Now, a lot of people would ask, well, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? The issue with them and with a lot of these politicians is not just they are moderates, because they're not moderates. First of all, they're not. They would be considered right-wing crazy people in any other developed country, but this one. They are not centrist because the majority of the public disagrees with them on a lot of the issues that they stand opposed to, like things like universal health care and a $15 minimum wage. These are things that the overwhelming majority of the public support. Okay, this is because of our political system is broken. Mm-hmm. And these people, particularly Joe Manchin, I've done some research on Joe Manchin, who once again gets called a centrist. He's pragmatic, he's logical, unlike AOC, who's like, oh my God, she's so emotional and crazy, but Joe Manchin is logical and he just wants to be pragmatic. Look, this is a guy who, he talks about the entitlement mentality. Mm-hmm. Entitlement mentality. But I just saw this great article that talks about his declaration of the entitlement mentality comes almost 13 years to the day that he provide a pivotal role in pushing for a massive Wall Street bailout that funneled hundreds of billions of dollars of public money to the banks whose financial crisis destroyed the global economy and ravaged his own state. Okay, so he has zero problem with the banks that got paid. They paid themselves huge government subsidized bonuses. And then they later bankrolled Joe Manchin's political campaign. Okay, a few years after the bailouts happened, his wife was named to the board of one of these mortgage banks. Okay, so donors from Goldman Sachs, the bank of which received $10 billion from his the bailout that he backed, would go on to collectively become one of his main career campaign donors. And you just see this, like he basically he has his own company that he supposedly put in a blind trust called Inner Systems.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Inner Systems, but it poses a conflict of interest because he made $500,000 from it last year. Mm-hmm. So he says it's been in a blind trust for 20 years, but him and his wife each reported having Inner Systems holdings worth between $1 and $5 million last year, generating $1.1 million in combined income. And it just doesn't stop there. Like his entire family are in on this criminal act here. And this is what I talk about here on this show, folks. This is why I'm hard on Democrats, because we have a right-wing party. Look, the Republicans are who they're supposed to be. They are the right-wing party, and they act like right-wingers. Okay, but we have left-wingers like Joe Manchin and Nancy Pelosi who are flush in cash. The Democrats control 26 of the 27 richest congressional districts in America. 26 of 27. That is not incompetence, folks. A lot of people portray it as if, oh my God, the Democrats are just so nice and they just don't know how to fight against the Republicans. Do you seriously think that the richest congressional districts in America would keep supporting a party that does not do what it wanted to do? Like, poor people are used to not getting anything for their money, okay? Mm-hmm. But the rich, the billionaires are not going to do this. But anyway, before I'm going to let you in here in a second, Rev, because we're going to talk about Joe Manchin's criminal family. Mm-hmm. His daughter's name is Heather Bresch. Okay, she's the former CEO of Mylan Pharmaceuticals, who is currently shutting down plants in West Virginia, Joe Manchin state, costing thousands of jobs. It came out as a scandal after her father was elected governor of West Virginia that she was actually given a fake MBA from West Virginia University. This was a huge scandal in West Virginia. She's been caught as a part of a price-fixing scheme to jack up the price of EpiPens and help to create a monopoly for that product of EpiPens. Anybody knows who has allergies or has kids who have allergies, those EpiPens are what you need to survive, okay? Those EpiPens are what you need. Okay, emails have exposed that she directly worked with Pfizer, the company that just made the vaccine they're trying to force all of us to take, that would kill any competitors, including one called AdrenaClick, which was a competitor to the EpiPen. And they launched the scheme collectively to force people to have to buy 2 EpiPens. So if you try to buy an EpiPen for one of your kids, Rev, say they got allergies, you're going to have to buy 2. You won't be able to buy 1. You'll have to buy 2 for no other reason so that they can make twice the amount of money. Now, we talked about Joe Manchin's wife being named to that board. She's currently the federal co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission. She previously served as the president of the West Virginia Board of Education from 2013 to 2014 and was the West Virginia Secretary of Education and the Arts. Now, she was a part of some controversy when USA Today, now mind you, this is USA Today, not some crazed left-wing newspaper that I found somewhere. A national newspaper published an article noting that this woman, Gail Connolly Manchin, upon becoming the Board of Education president, spearheaded a campaign for states to require schools to purchase EpiPens, which her daughter sells, and other medical supplies made by Mylan Pharmaceuticals. 11 states created laws to require schools to stock EpiPens made by Mylan Pharmaceuticals, which is was her daughter's company, leading to a near monopoly of Mylan Pharmaceuticals EpiPen in the school health sector. Again, Joe Manchin collects $500,000 from coal stock dividends and earned $500,000 in 2020 from his son's energy firm. Like, he also is in charge of regulating this industry. He's received thousands from Exxon lobbyists, Republican oil and gas titans. And when he was the governor, I'm going to let you get in there after this. When he was the governor of West Virginia, the state's public Service Commission bailed out the power plant that bought waste coal from Manchin family and coal brokerage Inner Systems, which we just talked about. He makes all this money in. This is so exhausting, Ralph. This is so exhausting. I swear it is.
Well, I'm not surprised that most people would be supportive of the bill. I do think that some of that support has as much to do with the fact that most people can't even picture in their head how big $1 trillion is.
Oh, yeah.
And so if the streets will get paved and it'll be paid for, and it happens to be, that we're not able to pay for all those repairs ourselves, we've been kicking the can down the road for about 20, 30 years now, so everybody's used to that too. At the same time, we do need this stuff worked on. We need the roads repairs. We need the bridges repaired. Here in Gary, there's a lot of good can be done with some of those funds. So
I absolutely agree with that. And, it don't just stop with Joe Manchin. It don't just stop with Joe Manchin either. You look at Kyrsten Sinema, she's just like him. The minute, like, people started wondering why she started threatening to kill the bill, why she opposed the plan to lower prescription drug prices as a part of Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion infrastructure reconciliation package. Now, mind you, 80% of people in her state support the proposal. 80%. So all you out there, I've heard people on this station, I ain't gonna say no names, say, well, Kyrsten Sinema, she comes from Arizona. She's in a purple state. 80% of the people in her state support the proposal. 80%. This isn't even controversial, okay? But her threat came after a dark money group funded by drug makers launched ads promoting her just before she informed the White House that she opposed the party's plan to lower prescription drug prices. Now, this dark money group is called Center Forward. Mm-hmm. I want you all to look this up. Google these people, because these people are a trip. Okay, Center Forward. It's a Washington-based nonprofit that has been running television, radio, and digital ads cheering on Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona since September. They also have sent out tons of pro-Sinema mailers. Now, they are bankrolled by the pharmaceutical research and manufacturers. The pharma lobby. It's literally the pharma lobby. The pharma lobby donated $4.5 million to Center Forward between 2016 and 2019, accounting for more than a quarter of its revenue during that time. Now, during her career in the Senate, she has raked more than $500,000 from donors in the pharmaceutical and health products industries, and she is now the 6th largest Senate Democratic recipient of campaign cash from those industries, which is insane because she's only 6th in spite of raking in more than $500,000, according to Open Secrets. That's another website that you guys should Google when you get the opportunity to. Open Secrets is where I find out a lot of information about these corrupt politicians and who they are beholden to. They are nonpartisan. They do a very good job. So anyway, So this drug pricing measure is based on the Elijah Cummings, before he passed away, the Elijah Cummings Lower Drug Costs Now Act. It would allow Medicare to use its bulk purchasing power to negotiate lower drug prices. It would save the government almost $500 billion. Almost, it would save the government, not cost the government, save the government almost $500 billion over 10 years and reduce prices by 57%, at least 57%, maybe up to 75% relative to current prices for medications, according to the Congressional Budget Office. She's opposed to the current prescription drug pricing proposal, adding that she met with Joe Biden to discuss the social spending package. I'm sorry, but she's not saying what she wants. She just wants to kill the bill. That's it. This very popular bill that the majority of the public supports. Okay, like I said, most Arizona voters support the Build Back Better budget. 77% agree that expanding solar energy in Arizona would boost the economy. 72% agree that climate change is already having a serious impact. So again, folks, when we talk about on this show corruption, the amount of money that these people are getting from big pharma, big oil, from Wall Street, I want you guys to remember that these people are not just naive, because I hear too many black people talking about the Democrats are just naive. They are not naive, folks. Again, they are not naive. They control 26 of the 27 richest congressional districts in America. 26 of 27. The only Republican-held district in that of the 27 richest congressional districts is Peter King's in New York. That's it. Everything else is held by the Democrats. Jeff Bezos, all the people in Silicon Valley, all the people in New York City are not going to keep giving a party their money if they are as incompetent and foolish as a lot of y'all make them out to be. They are not going to keep doing that. So, Rev, you got any final thoughts before we have to go to break?
Yeah, we do got to do that because we got bills to pay. It is almost quarter till. We got about 10 minutes left before we get out of here. So if you want to say something about this, don't let your fingers go numb waiting for you to pick your hand up and dial.
Yes. Give us a call, 219-885-1371. That number again is 219-885-1371.